Hi everyone. Today we are going to be looking at the Fokoos Odin-5 F3, the 3D printer with what I believe is the longest name. I'm Ken, your 3D printing survey tech, and this is On the Road 3D Printing.
Waiting for satellites.
I wanted to start this off by saying this is not sponsored by Fokoos in any way. I bought this printer with my own money because I travel around a lot and I wanted to see how well the folding 3D printer would do. I plan on this being a 3-part in a series. This will be obviously part number 1. I bought this printer on September 29th. Today is October 23rd, so it's been just about a month. I have one planned for in about 2 months, and then one at the 6-month period. But now, a little bit about the printer itself. I have some stuff pulled up. It is an FDM direct drive printer by Fokoos. The build volume is 235 on X, 235 on Y, and 250 on Z, or Z if you prefer. It comes with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. It uses 1.75 millimeter filament. One of the questions I've got asked was why I decided to review a printer that has been as heavily reviewed as this one has. One of the main reasons is because when they put it out, they said that it was folding and it was good for those who don't print very often, but also for those who travel. And although I have seen a few people travel with it, not many, and definitely not as extensively as I have. I've owned this printer less than a month and it's already traveled pretty close to 3,000 miles. And granted, it's only been a month, but so far it's holding up quite nicely. The assembly is very, very easy. It is literally 4 bolts and attaching some ribbon cables. The slicer is a reskinned older version of Cura. I don't like the fact that it's an older version. I wish they had used a newer version, but it seems to work just fine. It says that it will print and print speeds up to 300 millimeters per second. The slicer is currently tuned for 40 millimeters per second, and I haven't pushed it yet. I am going to, but I wanted to get some use into it first, and then I'll push it and see how far it'll go. Now for my review, I am mainly just going to be using PLA because that's all I use. But according to their specs, it does say you can use PLA, PLA+, TPU, ABS, and PETG. I will say this printer is very, very quiet, with the exception of starting up. I've only had it a month, but right now the fan inside the housing is making some noise, but it isn't extremely loud and it isn't for very long. Some of the things that I absolutely love about it is that it does fold, and I have traveled home and back, which is about 1,200 miles each way, plus everywhere else that I've gone so far. I've taken it everywhere. It does come with the upgraded yellow bed springs, which I am grateful for, but I do have to re-level it every time I move it because the 4 screws on the side aren't perfect. They're close, but they're not perfect, which is absolutely understandable. That is not a down on Fokoos at all. It would be very hard to get that gantry in the perfect spot every time. They did a pretty good job of it though, and re-leveling isn't really that hard. Annoying, but not hard. I really wish this had come with some sort of an ABL and maybe a PEI sheet. It does come with glass. I am not very fond of glass, but so far it's working quite well. So far I have run multiple types of PLA through it, and they have all done excellent. This is currently one of my favorites. It is a Can Cup by Mandy Grilly, and it is an orange glow in the dark by 3D Max. If you're into 3D printing and on TikTok at all, you will certainly recognize the Zao Ghost by Zao 3D. This is also in glow in the dark by 3D Max. Printed perfectly. In another glow in the dark, we have the Pumpkin Turtle by Cinderwing 3D. And that's it for the glow in the dark at the moment. I printed this box by Thin Air 3D. It is a folding box, and it printed perfectly. And that one was in print bed orange. And these three are part of the wall mounts from Cinderwing 3D. They're printed in Strong Hero 3D Chameleon Mirror Chrome. And this is a wall mount that I expanded out to 250%. It is by, the filament is Inland Twinkle Rainbow. And this is of course by Cinderwing 3D. And last, but certainly not least, the Infinity Dragon by Cinderwing 3D. Also in glow in the dark by 3D Max. I can't tell you how many hours of printing that I have on it so far. It has printed non-stop except for when traveling, and right now because I needed it quiet. Other than that, it is always printing. It has done an absolutely amazing job, and I hope that it continues to do so. I know that there have been some creators that have had problems with them. I have not so far, but I will keep an eye out on those and will report if I get them. And that's it. That's the 1 month review of the Fokoos Odin-5 F3 3D printer. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I will get to them as fast as I humanly can, though to be honest, it's usually easier to get a hold of me on TikTok. My handle there is On The Road 3D Printing. And if you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps the channel grow. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Observation stored.